In the spring of 2015, 8 wild boars stepped out of a transport crate near Cottbus in eastern Germany and onto 50 hectares of grey dead ground. The first wild boar to set foot on that land since the mines closed. They did not wait. Within minutes, the matriarch drove her snout straight into the compacted surface in long rhythmic strokes, churning columns of grey subsoil up around her shoulders. The piglets followed, their split hooves punching dozens of small depressions into the hard pan around her. By the following morning, the grey surface was broken across an area the size of a tennis court. No one told them to do any of this. The ground beneath their feet was not soil. It was overburden, the crushed geological rubble left behind when coal is stripped from the earth at industrial scale. 50 years of open-cast mining had compressed it so hard that a pickaxe could barely score the surface. No topsoil, no seeds, no organic matter at any measurable depth. The kind of ground where nothing was supposed to be able to take root. And what those 8 animals did to that former coal mine in the months that followed would outperform every tree planting operation the state of Brandenburg had funded across the same landscape for the previous 20 years. This is the story of how one of the most underestimated animals in Europe walked onto dead ground, rooted through it with their faces, and built something alive from scratch. The Lausitz region of eastern Germany spent most of the 20th century being eaten. Between 1920 and 1990, open-cast lignite mining stripped roughly 1,500 square kilometers of the Brandenburg and Saxony borderland down to bare geology. Villages were demolished, rivers were redirected, forest was cleared to bedrock. The topsoil, material that had taken thousands of years to accumulate, was scraped away and buried under 60-meter piles of extracted overburden. When reunification came in 1990, the mines closed almost overnight. East Germany's lignite industry collapsed in months, not years. What was left behind was 600 square kilometers of moonscape. No topsoil, no seed bank, no mycorrhizal networks, no organic matter at any depth a seedling root could reach. Just compacted grey and brown geological rubble baking in the Brandenburg sun. Scientists who surveyed the area in 1993 used a specific phrase in their reports: biologische Null, biological zero, no measurable microbial activity, no detectable nitrogen cycle. Rainfall hit the surface and ran straight off into erosion channels because there was nothing to absorb it. Summer surface temperatures reached 55 degrees Celsius. Wind stripped the top layer off in visible dust clouds. Germany had created a dead zone the size of Greater London. The legal obligation to restore it fell on the energy companies that had mined it. They had money, engineers, and a court order. What they discovered over the next 2 decades was that some problems resist engineering regardless of how much money you throw at them. The Lausitz was one of those problems. The state of Brandenburg tried everything. Between 1993 and 2012, Vattenfall, the energy company that had inherited the former East German mining leases, was legally required to restore what had been removed. 12 million trees were planted across the Lausitz region. Scots pine mostly, because pine is hardy and tolerates poor soil better than most species. 74% failed within 5 years. The overburdened surface was too compacted for seedling roots to penetrate beyond 15 centimeters. No root means no water access. No water access means the seedling dies in the first dry summer. The survival rate on untreated overburden was not a rounding error. It was a structural impossibility. So they brought in scarification rigs. Tractor-mounted tines dragged through the surface at a depth of 30 centimeters to break compaction. It worked briefly. One pass cost €800 per hectare. The ground recompacted within a single growing season. The same hectare needed retreating every year. Hydrologists introduced water, ponds, channels, redirected groundwater, but water on a surface with zero organic matter does not infiltrate, it sits or runs off. The sponge that absorbs and holds rainfall is the accumulated organic matter of centuries. You cannot install it with pipes. By 2010, after nearly 20 years of effort and more than €300 million spent, large sections of the Lausitz were still functionally lifeless. The failure had not been for lack of trying. It had been for lack of a certain kind of biology. This was the kind you can't order from a contractor, can't schedule into a project plan, and can't replicate with a machine that only does one thing at a time. The hypothesis was 3 words: Boar root. Rooting breaks compaction. Everything else, the Brandenburg University of Technology team argued, follows from that. Working alongside restoration ecologists at the Forschungsinstitut für Bergbaufolgelandschaften in Finsterwalde, they selected a 50-hectare plot of untreated overburden on the edge of the Cottbus Nord mine complex. They fenced it and documented the baseline: soil compaction, microbial biomass, seed bank presence, surface temperature. The answer to all of those measurements was the same word: 0. Then they released 2 sows with their most recent litters, 8 animals total, a natural family group, and stepped back. By the first morning, camera traps and GPS data showed the animals had moved 900 meters from the release point and broken ground across 1,200 square meters of surface. They had not been fed. There was nothing edible in that ground: no roots, no invertebrates, no food of any kind. They were rooting by pure instinct in soil that offered them nothing. And in finding nothing, they had done everything. Because what wild boar do when they root, the physical mechanics of how a 90-kilogram animal with 40 kilograms of lateral force in its snout moves through dead ground creates conditions that no amount of money, no scarification rig, and no tree planting program has ever managed to replicate. Understanding why requires looking at what actually happens to the soil in the hours after a boar moves through. 4 things happen when a wild boar works a piece of ground. They happen simultaneously. Each one does something no machine does. The first is deep, multi-directional rooting. A boar snout drives 20 to 30 centimeters into the soil and generates approximately 40 kilograms of lateral force per stroke. Scarification machinery does something similar, but in one direction, at one depth, in a single pass. Boar root from multiple angles, at variable depths, across the same patch over days and weeks. By the time a sow finishes working a 10 square meter area, the soil structure has been fractured in 3 dimensions. The compaction layer does not have a line cut through it. It has 1,000 fractures running in every direction. The second is hoof depressions. Wild boar hooves are split and sharp-edged. Where scarification creates linear channels, hooves punch hundreds of small, irregular craters across a worked area. Each one is a water trap. Each one is a seed trap. Rainfall that runs off scarified ground pools in hoof prints and infiltrates at the point of capture. The irregular geometry of a boar worked surface is, functionally, thousands of tiny pockets waiting for whatever the wind drops. The third is dung deposition. Wild boar gut flora contains live mycorrhizal fungal spores. When deposited on biologically dead ground, those spores are the first introduction of underground fungal networks, the infrastructure that plant roots use to access soil nutrients. No machine can introduce mycorrhizal communities. A boar does it passively every time it passes through, distributed randomly across the territory. The fourth is skin contact. Boar rub against any surface. After rain, a worked area does not shed water anymore, the fractured surface holds it, and the rooted patches turn to mud. The boar move through that mud, pressing bacteria-rich organic matter from their coat into the top centimeter of overburden, seeding microbial colonies that would otherwise take decades to colonize on their own. 4 mechanisms: simultaneous, self-sustaining, free. By the end of the first growing season, soil samples from the worked area showed something the research team had not expected to see so fast. Microbial biomass, effectively 0 at baseline, had increased by 340% in the patches where the animals had rooted most intensively. Not to the level of healthy forest soil, the researchers were careful about that, but measurable. For the first time since the mining stopped, something biological was happening in that ground. Seed germination appeared across 23 of the 50 hectares. Pioneer species, wind-dispersed grasses and herbs that had been blowing onto the site from surrounding farmland for decades without ever taking hold, were germinating in hoof depressions and rooted areas at a rate 14 times higher than on adjacent untreated overburden. I keep coming back to that number, 14 times. Those seeds had been landing on that ground for 30 years and finding nothing to hold on to. The boar punched holes, left their gut bacteria behind, and 3 decades of failed germination reversed in a single season. On the untreated surface, germination was effectively 0. On the boar-worked surface, it was low, but not 0. That gap is everything. By the end of year 3, the most intensively worked patches had closed vegetation cover. Not a forest, grass, and pioneer herb communities 10 to 40 centimeters high, scattered across patches that looked from a distance like the first faint stubble on shaved ground. But closed cover means shade. Shade drops surface temperature by 15 to 20 degrees. Cooler ground holds moisture. Moisture supports further germination. The cycle had started running on its own. The research team's 2019 publication put a number on what the mechanical alternative would have cost. 12 years of continuous treatment to reach the same state, if it had worked at all. 3 years of BOAR against 12 years of machinery. And the boar weren't done. The results from Cottbus didn't stay in a journal. Brandenburg's environmental authorities have since expanded the program across 4 post-mining restoration sites in the Lausitz region, covering 340 hectares. The methodology has attracted formal interest from restoration ecologists in Poland, the Czech Republic, and northern Spain, where similar post-industrial wastelands exist on a scale that no government budget is equipped to treat by conventional means. The economic arithmetic is blunt. Relocating a wild boar family group costs between €3,000 and €8,000 once. A single hectare of annual scarification plus replanting costs between €1,200 and €2,500 every year, with a 74% first-year failure rate. The boar work continuously, expand their territory without management, and self-maintain. The comparison isn't close. But there's something else in the Cottbus data that the researchers are careful to note because it changes what restoration even means. The boar did not restore the land to what it was before the mines. They created something new. The species that emerged in the worked patches had no historical reference state in Lausitz. Pioneer communities, novel microbial assemblages, soil structure with no prior equivalent in that location. I find that genuinely unsettling and genuinely interesting at the same time, because the question it raises is whether restoration is the right word at all. The Lausitz before the mines was ancient forest. What the boar are building is not that, and it will never be that. It's something else, something that did not exist before 1990 and does not have a name yet. Whether that counts as success depends on what you were trying to restore. By 2022, 7 years into the Cottbus experiment, the research team had enough data to model what the site would look like in 50 years under 3 different scenarios. They ran the numbers. Then they ran them again. The Boar management scenario produced closed forest canopy across 68% of the site by year 50. Mechanical treatment produced 31%. No intervention produced 8%. Sit with that gap for a moment, because it does not just apply to one 50-hectare plot near Cottbus. The same dead ground exists across the Ruhr Valley, the South Wales coalfields, the open cast mining zones of northern Spain, and the Czech Republic. They are all sitting in the same biological zero that Lausitz was in 1993. Most of them are receiving the same answer: mechanical intervention, insufficient budget, failure rates that do not get published in press releases. What the boar proved is not that animals beat engineers. It is that the biology was already inside the animal, waiting for the right problem. The overburden needed something that rooted deep, punched holes, deposited fungi, and kept moving. The boar did all 4 before the researchers had finished setting up their instruments. Dead ground, 8 animals, mud, and roots. 3 years later, something alive. But Germany is not the only country where an animal is rebuilding land from nothing. In our next video, we go to Kazakhstan, where 140 wild horses, the only horse species never domesticated by humans, were released onto a dead steppe. and what they did to compacted grassland in 3 years rewrote the science of soil recovery. You will not look at horses the same way again.